So yes, hello guys. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Midshipman Bonifacio Junior Dinamo from NS1A5, and for today's video guys, I will perform practical exercise number 5. So okay, let's start. So in securing containers, it's very important to maintain a clear interface while the two departments are working together. For any gap in communication can lead to efficient operation, accident, and even pollution. So effective means of communication are to be established between the ship deck officer and the cargo terminal, which shall remain effective throughout the cargo operation. So this communication link should be established and agreed procedure to stop cargo operation, personnel responsible for terminal cargo's operation. Third is the ship officer responsible for the cargo loading and unloading plan, and the officer in charge responsible for the deck cargo operation. So confirmation of information received in advance, an agreed procedure for the terminal to provide the officer in charge with the loaded cargo weight at frequent intervals and at end of each pour. So an agreed procedure for dock checking, so the reporting of damage of the ship from the cargo operation. So the ship officers responsible for the cargo operation plan should be submit the proposed unloading and unloading plan to cargo terminal representative at the earliest opportunity to allow efficient time for any subsequent modification, and also to enable the terminal to prepare accordingly. So the ship officer should be familiar with the IMO ship or shore safety checklist. So check bilge alarm. So in check bilge alarm, testing the bilge alarm is one of the bi-weekly checks. So the first thing to do is pull the string or fishing line that is attached to the pressure sensor. So if you hold it for long enough, the alarm should go off. So it took about seconds to set this one off, and it always help you have someone at the screen ready to acknowledge the alarm, so you are not in and out of bilge. So if there's no string, you can use grab stick thing to lift the sensor up. So some of the bilges are harder to access than others. So this one was for the bow thruster protection and secure unscrewing bolts for hatch. So sometimes it is easy to forget where the exact location of the bilge alarm. So by the following this guide, owners and operators can avoid some of the common pitfalls we typically observe during the compliance planning stage, and ensure that ballast water management compliance is achieved as seamlessly as possible. So next is report the emptied bilges. So the main purpose of the cargo space bilging is to remove water from a cargo space. So this also serves to prevent large lumps as residue other than water and etc. cargo entering the blocking and the bilges. The copper should be flushed with the tank to avoid damage during cargo operation. So preparation of efficient ballast plan. So compliance obligation. So the first step is planning for ballast water management compliance is to build a true understanding of obligation of the various ballast water management legislation. So our guide to ballast water management legislation provides a true walkthrough of the various legislation and applicability. However, its summary legislation will likely required, so the ballast water management produced comply with the applicable legislation, so that an approved ballast water management plan be developed for each vessel, so implemented and followed at all times by the vessel crew, so that any ballast water discharge comply with the applicable discharge standards, so that the vessel crew maintain accurate records of all ballast water operation in the ballast water record book. so that any installed ballast water treatment system can be operated in accordance with the manufacturer's guidance and instruction. So second is analyze fleet profile and fleet. So before undertaking by planning activities, a specific vessel is prudent to comply and detail fleet. The compliance review all vessels and the fleet with different legislation having different compliance states. It is important to build an overview of the entire fleet, so identifying the most pertinent vessel and shaping the fleet compliance timetable accordingly. The third is the existing balance and balancing procedure. So the physical changes can accordingly the layout. The philosophy of individual balance system, however, can typically include upgrade or replacement of existing balance pump, reconfiguring existing balance pipework, addition of all valves instrumentation to ensure legislative requirements met. So reconfiguring control philosophy of existing balance system, reconfiguration of any multi-purpose tank dedicated intended the most purpose, such as ballast tank used for temporary storage of balance of gray water. So next is negotiate with manufacturers. So assuming the feasibility studied stage resulted in the conclusion of the most suitable system for the subject vessel, the next stage of the planning process is to engage the manufacturers and begin negotiating on price and delivery time scales. So last is the plan for the retrofit installation. So the retrofit installation of the ballast water treatment system requires careful consideration and planning. So depending on the vessel ultimate compliance date, it is trading patterns to retrofit installation will likely be executed in one of the combination of the following circumstances. So first is during scheduled dry docking, whilst vessel is alongside, and during vessel operation using riding squads. So check all plugs in the ship. So the purpose of the section is not to only prevent malfunction as well as to inspect each item in the plug. Close test performed before dock water filling by established testing standards for each stage of hull and ship construction procedure, as well as for warehousing of bottom plug sockets, thereby enabling enhanced productivity and the settlement of the independent quality guaranteeing system. So test timing and checking procedures. So first is warehouse test. So when warehouse parts sampling checks should be performed to check all the surface defects, size, materials, and also condition of packing for lead. So product quality management should be inspected by regularly performing audits to manufacturers. So second is production test. So check for the presence of the surface defects by checking MP after socket welding. So check for the correct fit of the socket for water groove in the direction of the aft and forward. So check for the accuracy of plug location by referring to the bottom plug and BHMAC drawing to make certain that there is no warps in the socket for performing the welding procedure after inserting the plug into the socket. So last is testing prior to water filling. So the erection department should be inspect rectangular tiles condition of lead packing and removal of foreign bodies surrounding socket. To perform vacuum test with the ship owner as witness. So the erection department should inspect the rainwater density and gauge correction. So while QM checks for the leakage and the marks those plug for which testing has been complete. or completed to distinguish them from non-completed ones. That's all for my practical exercise number 5. Again, I am Chief Man Bonifacio Jr. Dinamo from NS1A5. Thank you.